tonight we are going to be looking at Email Marketing 101. We're not going to get into highly advanced topics. We will cover that in a couple weeks ahead. We are recording this so people can watch this at their convenience, especially to get prepared for Email Marketing 201. I'm actually using a previous recording of Email Marketing Facebook 101, and I'm going to make that available later this week so you have access to the PowerPoint slides as well as all the Facebook marketing stuff as well. So if you have questions about email marketing, if there's something you are just burning to know tonight, I encourage you to go ahead and post that in the question box now. Even if you have to leave early, I will get to those questions later on. So go ahead and start posting questions. Some of them I might take during the presentation, but I'll definitely cover them towards the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rolling here. Biggest keys to email marketing really are how to get emails delivered, how to get them opened, and then how to get them clicked. The reality is if we don't get them delivered, nothing happens. If we don't get them opened, nothing's going to happen. And then we really want some sort of action. And so get them clicked could mean a number of different things, right? So it could be click to a link to sign up for something. It could be call you. It could be come in today. So it doesn't necessarily have to be click on a link, but we want some sort of action. So we're going to talk about the how-tos on that. Now, getting them delivered, we've used a number of different services from Constant Contact to Aweber to MailChimp. Currently, we use FitPro Newsletter, and I'll go into that a little bit in terms of how we do that, and I'll show you our FitPro Newsletter account and how many people we have in it. But you can use MailChimp is a free service until I believe you get to 500. You can use a number of different services very effectively, but at some point you do have to use an email service to get them delivered. Getting them opened, we'll spend more time talking about, but the key there is to have good subject lines, and you want to think about headlines. Okay, so lastly then, getting them clicked, you want to have some sort of call to action. So getting them delivered, you have to use a service to avoid spam filters. If you're trying to send out 100 emails from your own personal, you're eventually going to get blacklisted. If you're trying to send out 200 or 300, shorter emails are better. Obviously, you want to get on people's whitelist. You want to be on their approved list. You want to be in their main list, not in their spam or their junk. You need to avoid words like free, buy now, guaranteed, lots of bold exclamation points, outlandish claims in your subject line, and even watch heavy stuff like this in your content. These things will kind of keyword you to being a spammer if your email is filled with all sorts of essentially garbage claims. So you want to make sure you're not sending spam so that you're triggering spam filters. Especially watch your subject lines. We all know what spammy looking subject lines are, right? We've seen all kinds of things from sexual enhancement products to mortgage products to, get rich quick schemes. Make sure you're being careful with your subject lines. That's really, really key to getting them delivered. And then a good email service is going to help you avoid spam filters as well. So that's really, really important. Again, if you have questions, comments, thoughts as we go along, please go ahead and post those so I can see kind of what you're thinking. And as we go, I've got opportunities then to respond to those. And if you have to leave early, I'll still be able to get to your questions and your comments. Now, getting the email opened, right? We get them delivered, nobody opens them, essentially nothing happened. So think of your email subject line as a catchy headline. Sometimes it can be personal. I mean, if you're emailing a friend and you want them to open your email, your subject line needs to pique their curiosity, right? Maybe even shock them. Ask them a question. Hey, can I have your opinion on this? So they can be real type things. Create open loops. Do you know this trainer? Did you know this happened to a client? Have you heard about this, right? Something that's like, I wonder what that is. Symbols, smiley faces, pound signs, dollar signs. Just be careful you don't go too crazy with that, because that can trigger spam filters. So you don't want to use a whole bunch of dollar signs, but different symbols like you might use with friends or colleagues. The reply on the forward, those can be really useful as long as they're appropriate. Don't abuse that. And then negative subject lines, like, I can't believe I did this, or I made a huge mistake, or even something like, I'm really sorry I did this, or I totally regretted doing this, right? Like, you can have a negative subject line. You are not going to believe the stupid thing I did at the gym today, or, the worst exercise, or the worst possible thing to order at Starbucks, So negative subject lines get people's attention, right? Because then they're like, well, gee, I got to see what that is, right? Like, the worst possible thing to order at Starbucks, well, gee, I better find out what that is. So negative subject lines, and then always something that's either piquing curiosity or sort of, shock. Don't over-shock them, like, don't be too crazy on the shock, but things that kind of stimulate attention, get attention, force people to go, that's something I've got to open. It's real easy to skip over, this is the best exercise to do at the gym. Yeah, blah, 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 right? That doesn't pique anybody's curiosity, doesn't shock them, doesn't get their attention. So think of your subject line as that headline that grabs somebody's attention. Great, I got a couple questions and comments coming in, so keep those coming in as we go. So here's an example of a bunch of winning, or not necessarily winning, but effective subject lines, right? So here's some negative ones, bad news and some good news, some curiosity ones, I made a mistake, reply, I'm sorry, I've used that one. A lot of times I'll be a little bit more specific, right? Like, I'm sorry the promotion ended and you missed it, or I'm sorry we couldn't take any more clients, or I'm sorry I did this exercise with the client. Add some specifics to your location. Curiosity, meet my celebrity trainer. Question, I'll talk to you tomorrow, question mark. Well, that kind of creates an open loop, because the person's going to be like, what? I'm supposed to talk to you tomorrow? I didn't realize we had a phone call. Thank you. Big open rates. Big open rates on this. People are like, why are they thanking me? What am I getting thanked for? What did I do? Right? I didn't even know I did anything to be thanked for. Don't eat this food ever. Right? Again, creates an open loop, right? Person's like, well, gee, I better find out what that is. Hey, name. Now, you can only do this if you can plug in people's names, and a lot of email services will do that for you. 89% of fitness trainers get this wrong. Well, I wonder what that is, right? I quit forever. Now, if you're going to do something shocking, make sure it makes sense. So don't just say I quit forever and then have your email have nothing to do with quitting, right? It might be I quit smoking and you tell your story about smoking, or I quit McDonald's and you tell your story, so have it be something that's real. People don't like being duped, right? Things got bad quickly, a true story. So tell true stories about bad things that happened. It doesn't even have to be a fitness story, right? It doesn't have to have anything to do with the gym, right? Things got bad quickly. Might be a story of how you gained weight in college, gained weight in high school, gained weight after college. Could have something to do with smoking or drinking problem you had. I mean, who knows, right? That's just one example. You might not want to use things got bad quickly. I could use things got bad quickly, a true story, for an example with my wife and one of my personal trainers, right? She didn't hit it off with one of the trainers. They didn't have a great personality mix, and funny stories ensued because things got bad quickly. The trainer still worked for me. My wife's still my wife, but there were a lot of funny stories that came out of it, right? Because the two of them, they both had strong personalities. They both butted heads. The fact that she was the owner's wife, but he wasn't going to give in. Lots of good material there, right? So think of subject lines that are going to get people's attention. Because again, if you have a great client story, you got to make sure people open it, because if they don't read it, it doesn't matter. Okay, so always be thinking after you write your winner email, your winner story, your winner content, what is the winner subject line going to be to get people to open this? Because again, if they don't open it, doesn't matter. It's like it never existed. You could write the absolute greatest email ever, and it's not going to get read. So you got to make sure you have a winning subject line. So think curiosity, think questions, think negative statements. Think about the last 20 emails that you opened and what subject lines got your attention. And so you have to think, in terms of that, because otherwise your emails simply aren't going to get opened. So again, go ahead and post your comments and questions as we go along, and I will get to a couple of those here in just a minute. Okay, so after you get your winning subject line, you've got to get them to do something, right? So getting them to click really is getting them to take action, okay? If it's clicking on a link, if it's email replying, if it's calling, you want them to take an action. So we're trying to sell a click or an action, not necessarily a product. So we're not emailing out, hey, train with me, sign up today. People don't buy fitness programs typically through an email. Now, sometimes they will. Sometimes they'll sign up for, boot camp and, training right through a click. They'll go to your page, they'll sign up, and they'll pay. That's great. But by and large, most people aren't going to do that. So we're selling some sort of action, not necessarily the actual product. So don't sell the product, sell some sort of action. Tell the reader why they should click on that link. So for our facility, especially when you're looking at the mature market, people over the age of 50, they're not going to buy personal training by just clicking an email. You're not going to send out an email and say, hey, sign up for training, click here, go to our website and pay, we'll see you tomorrow. It's just probably not going to work that way. So you want to tell the reader why they should click on that link, and that link may take them to a video where you're going to introduce yourself, your training services. It may take them to a squeeze page where you're going to sign them up for a 6-week program to get them more information. It may take them to another page where they get information on how to set up an appointment for you. You can easily set up consultation appointments, and people will plug that information in. They still haven't bought anything, but they're taking action to come see you, learn more about your program. So you want to make sure you tell the reader why they should click. You want to try to triple stack the links. People make mistakes. They only put one link in, and they put it in at the very bottom, and people never get that far because people are inherently lazy, right? They simply don't scroll down. So get a link somewhere in your introductory paragraph early on. Hey, I'm telling you about our new 6-week program. It's going to really help you. If you want more information, click here. Then the body of your email may have the full details. At the end of that, you have another link click, and then you sign off, hey, this is Dan Ritchie, Miracles Fitness. Hope we see you soon. P.S. I've only got space for 18 people, so make sure you get registered today. Another link, right? So you're giving them 3 opportunities. Try to keep the entire email above the fold, okay? If you think of a newspaper, the fold's at the middle, right? Everything on the top half of the newspaper is the most important. Everything above the screen is what we call above the fold. So you want to make sure your key stuff, especially some of your links, your key meat to your email is above scrolling, because again, as soon as somebody moves the mouse, they're thinking about scrolling. Guess what? They're thinking about deleting, jumping out of that email, going somewhere else. Write like you're talking to a friend. This is really important. You can't be overly pitchy. You have to be real. And this is especially important with the over 50 market. They have been marketed to for as long as we've been alive. You have got to be real, and you got to be talking to them like you're talking to a regular person you would email with. Not being salesy, not being pitchy, not being newslettery, not being formal, just being real, okay? Be cool, don't preach or talk down to. So Nobody cares that you're the world's greatest expert. The reality is I have a PhD in fitness. If I start getting preachy or talk down to people, they don't like reading my stuff, right? They want somebody who's down to earth, can be real, and be cool. Keep your emails most of the time short and punchy, okay? Nobody wants to read a 50-line email, right? None of us really want to read gigantic emails. In fact, if you notice, most of the emails I send out for Functional Aging Institute, try to keep it to 10 to 12 words per line. Try to keep it under 25 lines if possible. Now, sometimes we send out more information, but the reality is we want it to be short and punchy. We know you're pressed for time. We want you to get what you need to get, click what you need to do to get to a webinar, to get to an event, to get to a workshop, and you're done with the email, right? So make sure you keep it short and sweet. Let me jump back to that slide real quick. No more than 3 lines at a time. That really is a pretty simple rule. But the key here is you don't want to exhaust people with lines and lines and lines without a break. So give them a break every so often so they can kind of catch their breath. If you think about reading fatigue, even this, line, 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 it's a little bit too much if you had to read it all. And so simple rule, when emailing, no more than 3 lines at a time, then give it an extra line break. Whenever possible, imply social proof. So whenever you possibly can, you want to throw in a testimonial. You want to say, hey, you can visit our Facebook page and see our 5 best clients this last month. You want to try to create an atmosphere where people realize you have results and people talking about your results. So even if you're new and you've only been training 10 people, you want to make it known that you've got clients that are getting results and are talking about those results. Again, lastly, pique curiosity, right? Like, hey, I've got this video up for you, but it's only going to be up for a couple of days, so you want to make sure you get there. Like this example, sorry, I look a little tired in this video. I wonder why he looks a little tired in this video. Maybe he was working out hard. Maybe he stayed up late doing it for us. Use arrows to draw attention to links. So you can use the arrow marks to literally tell people. You just point with a bunch of these arrow keys, click here, right? So when in doubt, try to pique curiosity and make these things really almost like you're just leading them where you want them to go, right? Like click here, draw the arrows. You got to see this video. I often will put up things like, you won't believe the crazy things I got my trainers to do in this video, or you won't believe what we did here. Now, if you do that, make sure that's actually what's happening. So don't pique curiosity for some silly video and then it's just you sitting in your office telling people why they should train with you, because then they're not going to click on your links anymore, right? Because you fooled them. So people don't like to be fooled, especially the mature market. They want you to be straightforward with them. So if you say, I look a little tired in this video, you better look a little tired in that video, even if it's because you're working out really hard and you're sweating and that kind of thing. So make sure these pique curiosity things match then with what you show them. All right, let's move on. All right, hold on one second while I get my presentation moving forward here. Sorry about the hiccup there. Again, keep your questions and comments coming in as we keep scrolling through the email marketing info here. Okay. So simple rule of thumb. This would be one right now that I would encourage you to write down. Now, these numbers are not exact, but the general rule of thumb in email marketing, especially for fitness businesses, especially for the mature market, is you need 50% of your emails to be pure content. Now, the mistake I see a lot of people making in all age ranges in fitness is all they do is a monthly newsletter, right? You ask them, are you doing email marketing? They say, yeah, we emailed every month. That's not email marketing. That's you send a piece of pure content once a month, which by and large is just simply not doing a whole lot because you're not in front of them consistently enough. It's simply not enough. You need to be emailing pure content at least, in my opinion, once a week. And that's the beauty of FitPro Newsletter, which I use, is that it creates a newsletter every week. So I'm emailing pure content once a week. So if I want to stick to the 50% rule, I can email one other time and do some sort of combination of content and offer or straight offer or pitch. Now, I believe you need to blend the content and offers and the straight offer or pitch, because people don't want to get into this rhythm of, oh, they sent me a great content newsletter. The next email they get me is going to be a straight offer or pitch, because they'll learn that formula pretty quickly. You'll get very predictable, right? Here they go, offering or pitching me again. If the Functional Aging Institute sent pitch, 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 sign up for a workshop, sign up for a certification, sign up for coaching, and that's all we did, you'd stop reading our emails. When we send pure content or content and offer for more content, like, hey, we're doing a webinar tonight, hey, Cody's doing a webinar tomorrow, then you want to read more of our emails. Then every once in a while, when we throw in a offer or pitch for a certification workshop, an advanced certification, Functional Aging Summit, you're far more likely to tolerate that, right? We've created a goodwill index versus a profit index, right? Because we're sending content, and the offer a lot of times from us is just more content. Hey, here's a free webinar. Had somebody even ask me today, hey, does this webinar cost anything? I said, nope, just free content. We want to give you guys free content. So think of this simple rule. Half the time you should be sending pure content. And it could simply be you emailed out your blog post, or you email out, hey, I put up a new blog post, go check it out. Or, hey, I put up a new YouTube video, go check it out. Or, hey, we put up a new video on our Facebook page, go check it out, right? That's content. Typically, people are not going to get overly upset at you for sending out content unless you're sending out a lot of stupid stuff, okay? So it's got to be good content. Don't send out, constant content of, your dog doing crazy tricks or something. But even that can be interesting. A trainer that used to work for me, he's amazingly trained his dog to do all kinds of tricks in his training studio, and he put that out on his Facebook page. So, it's another piece of content that you can put out. There's no offer there. So remember to keep your goodwill versus profit index in balance, because when you go to pitch a 6-week program, you want to have plenty of goodwill in the bank so you can send 2 or 3 straight offers or pitches and people don't get all upset. They're not going to be all bent out of shape. Oh, Dan's pitched me 3 times this week for the Functional Aging Summit. Well, guess what? If I've sent you 3 webinars in 4 days, you're probably a lot more likely to tolerate me sending you Functional Aging Summit, Functional Aging Summit, Functional Aging Summit, right? Because I just sent you a webinar on Friday, and I sent you a webinar today, and I sent you a webinar for tomorrow. I've given you content. I've built a solid base of goodwill index. So if I pitch our 2-day conference, which is going to be great content, but, oh, by the way, we're charging $199 for it, you're going to be a lot more tolerable of that because we've built up goodwill. I hope that makes sense. So same concept when you're pitching personal training, boot camp, fitness services, whatever it is. You just want to make sure you've built up plenty of goodwill so that when you do pitch, when you do go for the dollars, when you do go for the profits, your goodwill index is in good balance. So 50% pure content, 25% content and offer. So content and offer. So something like a webinar could be a content and an offer to a webinar, or it could be a content piece with an offer to, hey, come try training with us. And then only 1 out of 4 is going to be a straight offer or pitch. So, hey, here's a 6-week promo program. Want you to sign up. Straight pitch. So make sure you're not sending pitch all the time. If all you're doing is email pitching, people are going to get off your email list because there's not going to be any value in it to them, because all you're doing is selling them or pitching them something. And people simply, they just don't like that, right? How many email lists do you stay on where people pitch, right? I mean, it simply just gets old, right? So those are the main things in terms of rules, in terms of email marketing. I'm going to pause my screen for just a second. I'm going to jump over to my email service and just show you what we use and how we use it. So you should be able to see my screen again. FitPro newsletter. I've been using this since 2010, I believe. I have also used Constant Contact with great success. When I email you guys through Functional Aging Institute, we use Aweber. We used Constant Contact in the past, which we just got rid of. We're moving everything to Aweber. So if you stop getting emails from us, you get to our website, opt in, so you get back on our Aweber list. Aweber, Constant Contact, MailChimp, there are other ones. They all work great. They all have very similar features. So FitPro newsletter, you can see you can try it for $1. Really, really simple. So I'm going to sign in just so you kind of see how we use it, what we've been doing with it. I kind of want to show you. See, it's going to show me newsletter delivery coming up here on February 18th, 4 self-motivating mind tricks. If I want to take a look at that, I can see that. In case it's not something that's mature friendly, then I'll just put it on hold. I won't send it. 4 self-motivating mind tricks is pretty good. It's really pretty good for all ages. So it's simple stuff. There's always a nice recipe. It's good, solid content. You can change it as much as you want. So these things over here, like I put our free ebook here. You can put anything in here you want. You can edit the whole thing. This is the header that I put in. You can put your own picture in here. You can do all kinds of things. So when we had our new building built, we put pictures in here of the new building going up right in the main newsletter. It allows you to do all that. This is created for you every week. It's going out automatically. Now, the marketing piece that you control is all the broadcasts you send out. And so you can see all the emails that I sent out here in January. So January 20th, 21st, 21st again, 22nd, 22nd, 26th, 26th, 5th, and 10th. I haven't emailed much since the 10th, but we'll pick that up here again. So go back earlier in January, I was emailing out a bunch for kind of New Year's resolution type stuff. We had a Martin Luther King sale, and you can see some of the numbers over here, right? So like Last Chance Workout, 3,793. That was a pretty big winner for me in terms of opens. And so really nice service. Here's the sale of 2015. Don't miss out on today. That was actually MLK sale. 754 people opened. Buy one, get one free on personal training. We ran a huge sale on our small group personal training. 927 people opened that. That's a lot. That's a lot of people when you think about a small personal training studio of 150 clients and you have 927 people opening, right? So that this is represents about 750 people that are not clients that are seeing our offer. So really, really powerful stuff. Nice thing about FitPro newsletters, it has a lot of done-for-you stuff. Autoresponders are tremendous. You can set up a series of emails. So we ran a 1,500-pound challenge in the fall, and we set up 2 automatic emails that everybody got. They just automatically got those in a sequence. 28-day, there's 4 automatic emails. and we've got 4 different ones. Biggest loser, interest. We just had one autoresponder. We had 131 people sign up for that via Facebook. They all got this automatic email that basically told them to click here to get signed up, reply now. You know, it kind of basically told them what to do. See if I can find another one. So here's our homepage opt-in. These people automatically get a 2-email sequence. Just a lot of things. You know, our Labor Day sale from last Labor Day, we had 2 messages that automatically went out to 28 people that wanted more information. Memorial Day sale last year, MLK Day sale. Nicole and Laura, we ran a Facebook campaign for them. We had over 100 contacts in this before we moved all those people somewhere and didn't want them to get these 2 anymore. But you can set up all kinds of different autoresponders that just automatically happen. So the emails are automatically going out, which is really, really quite valuable. So lots of other tools here, list builders that we use that you can put on your website. Again, this isn't about selling FitPro newsletter. Some of the other services have this as well, but just a lot of different things you can create. So Nicole and Laura were actually TV news anchors in our market. So we built a page. We used pictures of them on Facebook. You know, have you seen them working out at Miracles? Check out them training at Miracles. Do you want to train like Nicole or Laura? You know, and that drove a lot of traffic to this page. Have you ever wondered what our local TV news anchors thought about training at Miracles Fitness? And then all they had to do, plug their name and email and phone number in. They actually didn't have to put their phone. Click here to get the video interview, and then that sent them to a web page on our website where they got to see a live interview with Nicole and Laura, who are very well-known TV news anchors in our market. So the action there was getting them to see them interviewed by me live in our studio and see them working out. So really successful content piece. So that's just kind of how we do email marketing. You can see our list is a little over 3,000. When I do email marketing 201, I'm going to talk about some strategies for growing a big list. The list is king, and the money is in the list. Let me say that again. The list is king, and the money is in the list. So if you have a big email list and you run a Martin Luther King sale, you can generate $40,000 or $50,000 because you have a big list, and the money is in the list. It really does become a numbers game. If you have hundreds and hundreds of people seeing your sale, it just becomes a numbers game, right? If you want 40 people to respond to a training sale, well, you need probably 500 to 600 people opening that email and seeing it. Now, that varies, obviously, depending on how hyper-focused your list is, right? If you have a list of 200 and every single one of those people is eager to hire a personal trainer, then that's a great list. You're likely to get 150 to 200 people to buy your service. We build our list through a variety of ways, and so obviously when 900 people open our sale email, we only get about a 5% buy, but that, again, becomes a really, really big number when we're talking about 40 or 50 people all of a sudden coming in to sign up for training. So remember, the list is king, and the money is in the list. And if you get good at emailing content and offers and pitches, it will over time pay off. So that is all I have for tonight's presentation. I want to take a look at the questions we've got rolling in here tonight. So let me pull up the question box here real quick. If you've got questions, go ahead and post those now. Here we go. So Sandra asked early on, what's the response effective rate of email marketing? It's a great question, and obviously it's going to vary greatly by the size of your list and the focus of your list. So you saw from some of the numbers on our list, we've got a list of about 3,300, and really good for us is about 700 opening an email, right? So we're looking at a little over a 20% response just on opening the email, and then in terms of actual actions on the email, we're looking at about another 40 to 50 people. So a little less than 10% of those that open for us will actually take some form of action. And that action may simply be replying or calling, stopping in to check out a program. In the case of having a big sale, we may get as many as 900 people to open and as many as 40 people to buy. And so again, it's a numbers game, it's a percentage game, but if you get a 2 to 3% response, then it really is about building a big list, right? You build a list of 1,000 people, and if you can start getting a 2 to 3% response, you're going to get 20 to 30 new clients or new promotion clients anytime. So, Alex, would Facebook or local newspaper ad be better to get in touch with the mature market? I wouldn't say they're better. They're just other avenues. Email marketing, for one, is cheaper. It's far more cost-effective. Local newspaper ads are really, really expensive typically based on your return on investment, especially compared to email marketing. Facebook is free, but only to a degree. So we run Facebook ads to grow our email list. We run Facebook ads to gain more notoriety in the market, but primarily we're running Facebook ads to create some sort of action. Come in for this offer, sign up for this program, sign up for this free report, so that sort of thing. Typically, local newspaper is so much more expensive than email marketing. Once you have somebody's contact info, you can continue to market to them. You run a local newspaper ad, somebody may or may not see it. You may not even hit the people you want to hit. You have to hit a whole bunch of people that don't want to see you. So with email marketing, you can really focus in on the people that are interested. Sandra, again, great question. What's the purpose of email if I'm not promoting my services? Okay, great. So think about it this way. If you continue to position yourself as a content provider, then that, in a sense, does promote your services without you constantly saying, hey, come pay to do something with me. In fact, I have found over the last 5 years, because we've been really consistent with email marketing, I have more people in our community that thank me for our consistent emails that have never trained with us. We've given them a workout tip. We've given them a motivational tip. We've given them a recipe. We've just inspired them to live healthier, even though they've never come to train with us, right? Well, guess what? They refer people to us, and they've never been clients. And so your email can be a huge added value in your community, and people will get to know, like, and trust you better, even though they've never trained with you. So I hope that a little more thoroughly answers your question. Another question, where does the prospect go to put their email address? Is it put in Aweber or in FitPro? The reality is the prospect goes typically to an email opt-in page or a squeeze page, which is literally just an email sign-up page, like the one I showed you right here. This one with Laura Kirtley and Nicole Kahn, right? This name, email, literally that could be sign up for our fitness newsletter. Instead of click here to get the video interview, it could be click here to get our fitness newsletter. You create a page like that, and then that goes into Aweber or Constant Contact or FitPro newsletter, whichever service you're using. And so it really doesn't matter. You can use any email service you want, but at some point you have to create an opt-in page where somebody can say, hey, here's my email address so you can contact me, and then that automatically goes to either your Aweber list, your Constant Contact list, your FitPro newsletter list. And FitPro makes that really, really easy with list builders, web pages like this one I'm showing you with Laura and Nicole. So that is how you get people on your email list online. Obviously, there's a lot of other ways to get people on your email list: in person, at events, at fairs, at talks, all kinds of different ways, business cards, go to networking events, ask permission, variety of different ways that you can get people on your email list. So I will cover that more in email 201 when we start talking about how to grow a big list, how to get consistent with a big list, and how to use a big list to drive really, really big money. It gets really, really interesting when you send 2 emails and you can produce $40,000 or $50,000. But that takes time. You're not going to do that overnight. You have to build a list. You have to build a list that trusts you. You have to build a list that will respond to a sale. If they get to know, like, and trust you, then when you offer a sale, they'll definitely jump for it. So just briefly to give you some insights on how to grow an email list, there are probably 4 ways to do it, and I'm going to go in depth on that in a future webinar here in 2 weeks. But we do it largely through events. So we go to health fairs, we go to college fairs, we go to large kind of wellness meetings, large corporate wellness meetings, and we do a variety of ways to get people to sign up for our email list. We might do a drawing for a prize. Recently at the community college staff vendor fair, we gave away 3 weeks of free training. We said, hey, if you want to train with us for free for 3 weeks, sign up for our email fitness newsletter. And we got about 50 people signing up for our fitness newsletter, and hopefully a lot of them will come in for free training. Now, we have a facility large enough we can handle 50 promo clients, and they won't all come at once, and we'll space them out if we need to, but we just added 50 people to our email list just like that, boom, in about an hour. So really easy way to do it. Didn't cost us any money except having a staff person there for a couple hours. Other ways we do it are through our website, and we drive traffic there with Facebook ads. So Laura Kirtley and Nicole Kahn, very well-known TV anchors, drive some Facebook ads, $5 to $10 a day. People click on that, land on the website. We add anywhere from 50 to 65 new email contacts a month. Well, that's pretty significant when you start thinking about that over the course of a year. We're adding 700, 800 people. We're very consistent about people that walk into our facility. We want to make sure we get them on our email newsletter. People call in. Can we send you an email? Can we get you on our fitness newsletter? Bring a friend weeks, referral strategies, contacting our clients who would like to get our email fitness newsletter. Every so often we send out fitness newsletters with referral links. Hey, send this newsletter to your friends so they can sign up for it. So there are a number of different strategies, but the key is to be consistent about it, to always be growing it, to always be adding people. Because guess what? People are always getting off your email list too. So we typically have anywhere from 20 to 30 people getting off our email list every month simply because they've moved away, they're no longer interested, they don't want our services anymore, a number of different reasons, right? All sorts of reasons. Maybe they signed up 6 months ago and now they realize they've joined a different facility, who knows, right? So a lot of different reasons. So that is it for tonight on Email Marketing 101. Great questions. This recording will be made available, so those of you listening to this on recording someday, glad that you took the time to check this out. We will be having Email Marketing 201, which will be more advanced topics. I will try to put out some advanced things you need to know, so there'll be some assumptions that you know what a squeeze page is, an opt-in page, an email service, and those sorts of things as we get into some of the more advanced topics in terms of click-through rates, open rates, how to build a big list, how to build a list fast, and those sorts of things. So have a great night, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Don't forget that tomorrow, if you're listening to this live, tomorrow at noon, Cody's doing another webinar on power training. So from the Functional Agent Institute, this is Dr. Dan Ritchie, Email Marketing 101, and we'll see you on the next webinar.